Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of A Splash of Paint, brought to you in association with the SAA, Society for All Artists. Today's programme is a colourful collection of practical demonstrations and exercises to inspire your artistic passion and encourage you to try something new. So settle back for 60 vibrant minutes of the latest creative tips and techniques from some of today's most popular leading artists. Let's get started and take a look at what's on today's packed palette. Popular SAA artist Marion Dutton returns to share a secret recipe for successful mixing of your own acrylic mediums. Marilyn Alice takes us to the colourful city of New Orleans for today's Try Your Hand At project. Renowned SAA professional artist Jeremy Ford returns to reveal a few of his favourite things. We'll be showcasing the works of up-and-coming SAA professional soft pastel artist and tutor Catherine Ingalls in our regular Introducing feature. And our resident bookworm Henry Malt searches the SAA Art Library to recommend another inspirational read. But before all that, I'm going to show you how simple it is to sketch a symmetrical object like a vase of flowers or a wine bottle or something like that, because people really find round objects quite hard to do. And there is a basic logic that you can work to. Anything that's round, whether it's a coffee cup or a vase or a wine bottle, will have a basic line of symmetry, which is just pretty much a straight vertical line. If we was doing a vase, we would say that there's a narrow point at the bottom, gets wider, and it goes in again and comes out again. So we can actually add these points. And you do this on the line of symmetry, but treat it as the slap bang in the middle central line. So if we go a fraction either side of the line at the bottom, just put the markers, try and get the width the same on the two sides. Let's go a bit higher. So this is now the widest part of the vase. Again, match the two lines as close as you can. Let's go a bit more narrow as we get towards the neck of it. Again, match the sides, and then we'll bring it wider at the top. So there we go. And then what we do is, because a vase is obviously a round object, we put the round areas and we stick within those horizontal lines. If you hold your pencil quite loosely, it allows you to almost get a smooth elliptical shape, rather than trying to do it like this, which is very difficult to do. So I can use this method and I can very, very lightly put these basic, almost invisible elliptical shapes on the paper there. And once I've got this, I can then build the vase around this. So I'll sketch in the bottom using the bottom of the oval, and then we'll go wide until it gets to that point. You can see already it's giving you the shape. Do the same on this side, trying to match as much as possible the curve. The line of symmetry helps you match because you can almost imagine a mirror down the middle and the two sides working together. And then we'll start to move inwards towards this point. We'll start to curve out a little bit at this point as well. So we can see, again, because I'm working to these points, these guidelines, it's guaranteed to look right. Then we'll go wider towards the top, matching the 2 points. You can pretty much see that vase already. And of course, one of the great things about this particular method is that if it was a glass vase, you could use this point as the inside of it, and that point there could actually be maybe the water edge where the flowers are coming into it. The piece at the top, of course, is the elliptical shape up there. And if we say that the light is coming down from this side there, we can say that this side of the vase, using the softness of this HB pencil, is actually going to give us a darker shade. And the shadow that would follow a curved vase would be like a sloped edge, and you can see I'm almost getting this curve coming through. And then we'll do the same on that side as well and make it almost wider at the top. So again, you can see how simple it can be. Right at the top it would be darker there, and it would gradually get lighter as we work his way over. And again, you can almost see inside the vase there, just a little bit of tidying up to go. as we work his way around the shape. If that was the water line, you could almost imagine a couple of flower stems coming out of this. As the flower stems actually hit the water's edge, it would be slightly distorted, so slightly offset, and using the guideline down the centre, if the stem comes off to the right side, you would offset it a bit to the right, and that gives the distortion of the water. On the other side, let's say there's one comes down there, it's the opposite way. Because it's on the left-hand side of the guideline, it's the same idea, it comes down. But this time it actually goes off to the left of it. And it creates almost like a mirrored kind of refraction effect. Then whatever flowers you wanted to do at the top, you could then work with. A very quick one to finish on, if you're doing something like a circular shape, put a cross, an equal cross, match the 4 lengths the same. When people draw a circular shape, they quite often make it look like an eye without realising. So what you can do is put, on those 4 points, put a nice oval shape, and this oval shape carries the pencil line over the corner, and it really makes an easy way of doing almost a definite circle. If you was working in perspective, you would do a similar thing. You'd put a line down the centre and you would drop these lines off, and you can put the crosses every so often. Maybe this could be the tracks of a train or something, and then you could put the circular shapes matching as you go down, just very, very quickly to finish on. And then you can just pop them in, and it almost gives you that same effect going into perspective. So there you go, folks. Hope that makes sense. Well, folks, it's nearly time for a quick break, but before we go, let's join SAA contemporary artist Marion Dutton as she shares a secret for successful mixing of your own acrylic mediums.
So today's little tip I wanted to share with you is how to extend the drying time of acrylics. One of the biggest complaints people have with acrylics is how quickly they dry. Now you can purchase the Flow Improver, which does help the drying time, and you can also purchase the Slow Drying Medium Gel. And I don't actually like the consistency of either. One is a bit too thick and the other is too runny. So to get around that, I actually mix the 2 mediums together, and I'll have a little bottle and I'll squirt a percentage of the gel into the bottle, and it's around about a 60-40 split, more of the gel to the Flow Improver. So we'll get some of that in there. Nice sound effects for you there as well. And we'll some of the fluid, and then you mix the 2 together. Now this will foam up a little bit on you, and if you just leave it sitting on a shelf for an hour or so, it'll settle down. You've no worries about this sort of going off, it will last. So I will usually make quite a large container of this and then just squirt out a portion of what I need for that particular painting. And this just sits on the shelf until I'm ready to use it again. So I've got some here, and I'll show you how I use this. Now it's just got a nice creamy consistency, which is still a gel, but it's just a little bit more fluid. So I'll paint some on. So if I'm blending a sky or a rose or a portrait, I'll cover the area. Now if necessary, you can just lightly mist it as well, and that'll just give you a little bit more time. But that gives you a lot more time than just using the acrylics just on its own. So I'm going to just show you how to blend. I'm going to add some red into that. Give that a wipe. And then we'll put some yellow at the side. And you can see now how you can create a really nice soft blend. This is absolutely ideal for doing skies. And you can finish off by using a small mop to get a really super soft blend and a nice seamless finish.
Thanks, Marion. A great idea for extending the drying time of your acrylics. Well, folks, it's time for a short break, but join us in part 2 when renowned watercolour artist Marilyn Alice takes us to the colourful city of New Orleans for today's Try Your Hand At project. And popular SAA artist Jeremy Ford returns to share some of his favourite tools and tricks. I'll see you after the break.